Hello loves, Cassie here. Leave Goddess at Send out. I'm here to talk about my blog post this week. Before I do want to touch on a couple of things. So first, it was storming here. You might hear some sounds in the background. My door chime has been going off because the wind is blowing a bit. So if you do hear some sounds, that's what they are. Second, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that so many of us are struggling in so many different ways. I know people that have lost their jobs. I know people that are business as usual. So I just want to take a moment to honor wherever you're at in this unusual place as a collective, as the human species, as energy beings where we're at right now. So if you are in despair, if you are experiencing higher levels of anxiety, if you're feeling fine, I see you. I'm holding space for you in my meditations, and I'm sending love to the collective in my meditations. I know that's not enough, but I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge you and whatever it is that you're feeling. Okay? So, energy healing. Who knew we would need it so badly? I had this on our blog schedule to be in alignment with spring, but here we are. Energy hygiene, which I also like to call it, it is so important for a few reasons. So one way I like to explain it, and I'm sure this is a phrase you've heard, as above, so below, as within, so without. So this phrase is used to explain a lot of different things, but something that it can explain is the need for energy cleansing. Whatever's going on in your energy body will affect your physical body. Whatever's going on in your energy body and physical body will affect the physical space you're in. So if we're sensing or feeling or picking up energy in our energy body because the collective is experiencing a lot of anxiety, that anxiety is going to build up in your energy body and will eventually affect your physical body, as it will affect your space too. So everything's connected. So your subtle body, your energy body, which is your chakras, your aura, your nadis, which are the energy pathways in your body, it's all connected. The physical and the energy, they're connected. They talk to each other. So that's why energy hygiene is so important, just as important as brushing your teeth. So to clear and cleanse that energy from your subtle body, from your energy body, and from your space regularly, it's going to be really helpful, and it's probably going to make you feel better too. I know it does for me. There are so many different ways to cleanse your energy. But I want to talk a little bit about the process before you jump in. So one part of the process is giving yourself enough time. You want to make sure that you give yourself at least 15 to 30 minutes. Dedicate some time to it. The next thing I like to recommend, and that I usually do, is clean physically. So you can make this more or less in depth, whatever you're feeling. But obviously, if your space is clean, physically, you're going to feel better energetically as well. So maybe that's just a little declutter, maybe it's a deep clean, but take some time to just kind of pick up and enough so that you feel good about the space that you're in. And the other thing I want to say, and this is something that's been really important to my practice, is to do something to get your energy flowing. So I usually cleanse myself in my space after I've done a meditation. Maybe I've practiced some breath work, maybe I've done some yoga, just something to get the energy in my body kind of moving and flowing. I just find that that helps clear things out. So it's just going to kind of jumpstart the energy clearing process. Maybe that could even be turning on your favorite song and just dancing around for a little bit. Anything to kind of raise your vibration and get things flowing and moving is really going to be beneficial. Okay, and the last thing that I always like to point out when we talk about energy cleansing is that anytime you clear and take away, you want to make sure that you have a plan for what you want to bring in its place. Because if you clear away and you don't bring anything back in, we are beings of habit, and it is probably just going to fill up with the same junk you just cleared away. So there are, again, lots of different ways to bring this energy in, some of which are kind of similar to the ways that you cleanse. So I will share and wrap some of these in, okay? So let's jump into a few different ways that you can practice and use energy cleansing. When I do this, I usually like to do 2 or 3 things at once. And of course, I'm always going to cleanse myself and my space at the same time, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So the first thing, salt. I love to use salt. It's been used as a cleansing tool forever, for all of time. So salt, I like to use it in a spray form. You can use just salt loose. You don't have to use any kind of special salt, table salt, sea salt, pink salt, whatever it is, whatever you have around handy. Any salt will work as a cleansing tool. I like to use it in a spray because then you don't have loose pieces of salt all over your house. So the other nice thing about using it as a spray is that you can add some nice oils, some crystals in there. So I have some amethyst in here, rosemary, peppermint, and it's just a really great way to spray and cleanse. So that's a lot of times what I like to do first is use a salt spray or some herbs, like burning some herbs, which I have a whole list of on the blog that you can look through and decide what works for you. So another really great tool for cleansing and for bringing the kind of energy you want are candles. So when it comes to cleansing, I will often opt for a white candle. It's very, it brings us just kind of a fresh sense of newness and hope. Black candle will also work. Black candles are very banishing, so that can also be effective for clearing and cleansing depending on what it is you're kind of trying to clear out. And when I use a candle, I usually like to use salt or herbs first and then walk around the house with the candle and just visualize that white light kind of coming into each corner and space of the home and cleansing it and clearing it out. Okay. So the nice thing about candles is it's a great tool for clearing and cleansing and bringing in the kind of energy that you want. So if you do want to learn more about candle magic, I've got some great blog posts on the blog that you can read more about it, and in the Goddess Discovery book, Volume 2, lots of tips about candle magic. So all different candle colors, they bring all different kinds of energy. So for example, my altar here, when I clear it off, I cleanse the energy of it, I cleanse it physically, and then I select the candle colors that I want that have the same energy that I'm trying to bring in. So that's a great tool for bringing in the kind of energy that you want as well. One of my favorites, sound. So you don't have to use a fancy singing bowl. There are so many ways to use sound as a clearing energy tool. So I've got, again, a couple blog posts on the blog all about frequency and sound healing. You can use tuning forks, you can chant, lots of free ways to enjoy the benefits of sound healing. You can search on YouTube for different sound videos, different frequencies. So many opportunities and tools available for sound healing. So a singing bowl is my favorite, but again, I just recently acquired these. They're wonderful to have, but not always accessible. So I'm going to try not to nerd out on you too much, but sound, so a little bit of the science behind it. Obviously, when I hit the singing bowl, it creates a vibration. That vibration then causes the air molecules to vibrate, and that is how the sound travels from the object to your ear and how you hear it. So there's a term called entrainment. Entrainment is when one frequency meets another frequency and they match, they entrain. So that's the principle behind sound healing, is that when our bodies are confronted with these different vibrations of sound, it entrains parts of our body to resonate with that sound frequency, okay? So that is one way that sound can be used as a healing tool, as a cleansing tool, okay? So again, with the singing bowl, I will ring it and just walk it around my space, but like I said, even if you want to sit and meditate and just chant Om, that's going to clear your energy and the energy of your space. One last tool I just want to talk a little bit about, and like I said, there are more on the blog. If you don't have any of these tools handy, you don't need to have any of them handy. You can use yourself and any source that's greater than you to call on as an energy clearing tool. So for me personally, I like to use this a lot when I'm in meditation. You can use a selenite wand, but I like to just use my hands to clear away energy that's in my aura that I don't want there. You can visualize sending that energy into the earth is one thing that I like to do. I know in Reiki they talk about sending it into fire. You can send it into salt water. So you can just clear with your hands. And if you want to call on, if there are spirit guides that you work with, gods, goddesses you work with, if for you it feels more comfortable to say the universe, whatever it is, if you want to call on that energy, that whatever that source is that's greater than you, to come in and help clear and cleanse, that is a great opportunity to do that. And you can do the same thing with your space as well, and just invite that energy, whether it be a guide, an angel, an ancestor passed on, to say, help me to cleanse this space and help me to bring in the energy that I desire. Okay? So you don't need anything. The other tools are great and they're handy to have, but you don't have to use those. So like I said, if you want to learn more, just head over to zendout.com/blog to dive into the full blog post and see all of my tips for energy cleansing, and find links to lots of other blog posts if any of these things specifically piqued your interest. If you do want to learn more about candle magic or herbs, Goddess Discovery Book Volume 2 is the best option. And if you want to learn more about auras or the chakra system, Goddess Discovery Book Volume 1 is the best option, which you can find in physical or digital on the website. So, my dears, I'm thinking of you. Comment below if you have questions, and I will continue to bring you as much love, inspiration, and enlightening help that I can throughout this interesting time, my dears. So I will talk to you again soon. Bye.